Sleigh bells ringing, diamonds blinging, carols singing, favorite season. Sleigh bells ringing, diamonds blinging, carols singing, favorite season. They said, say Nick, what you got up in that bag, yeah. I got racks in my sack or in my bag, yeah. They said, say Nick, what you got up in that bag, yeah. I got racks in my sack or in my bag, yeah. Frozen, neck is frozen, catch me rolling.
Would you like to move on to our next topic that I'm not so fond of moving on to, but I guess we have to?
I wanted to try and bear you a little of the punishment there with the Ravens losing a heartbreaker at Pittsburgh 20-19 on a failed 2-point conversion late in the game. And, you know, I was just thinking about this and I took a little time. I was trying to figure out why Harbaugh went for 2 there. And I was just looking back at Baltimore's season a little bit. And I was thinking back, you know, they had the miracle comeback on Monday Night Football against Indianapolis, right? They had a 0% chance to win that game. They came back and won it. You know, they had the miracle kick by Justin Tucker against Detroit. And before that, they had like a 4th and 20 or something, right? So that was a miracle game. You know, they had Kansas City was up 2 scores against Baltimore with the ball. Mahomes throws a terrible interception. Baltimore comes back. Kansas City's about to drive. They're in field goal range. They fumble. Baltimore wins that game. You know, and you keep going through the season, and I'm sure Harbaugh is looking at it, and he's like, you know, we're kind of playing with house money. We're 8-3. We've had so many injuries on defense and on offensive line and running back, frankly, everywhere, that, you know, maybe we're playing a little bit of house money here. And it kind of makes me think there's 2 kinds of gamblers, right? There's the gambler who bets $200 at the table, and if he wins it back, he puts the $200 in his pocket and plays with the winnings the rest of the day. Then there's the kind of gambler that, you know, he doesn't care if he loses everything. He's going to go all in and be super aggressive, hyper aggressive all of the time. And I think Harbaugh is kind of feeling the way the season's going that, you know, I don't want to say it's not a lost season by any means for Baltimore, but it's such a weird season because with all the injuries. So he's kind of like, look, let's just roll the dice and just heck with it. Let's see where this goes. Because he's probably looking at it and being honest with himself that at least 3 of their wins were basically, I don't want to say miracle wins, but pretty close. So it's like, heck, let's just ride the wave. We've got a hot hand. Now, not my kind of gambler, but I think it really showed the kind of gambler that Harbaugh is.
Yeah, I definitely know he loves to gamble in the game. I definitely know that we're big on stats. Obviously, as a fan of the game, I always want to see everybody go for 2, but it's always the wrong decision if you don't make it in my mind. So, you know, it's kind of like double-edged sword. I want them to go for 2. They had the right play call, just poor execution. I think they should have known that they were going to give them a lot of pressure, but they didn't adjust for that, and Lamar got put off balance and had an errant throw that, frankly, if it was a little better throw, Andrews was wide open. So they could have easily scored that too. But I think you brought up a point yesterday in that when you're the better team, you definitely go for 1. And after they miss it, I kind of, you know, that makes sense now.
Well, and the way I think about it is if you're the better team, like if you have Lamar Jackson, you want Lamar Jackson to have in overtime, right? 3 plays, 4 plays, 6 plays, 8 plays with the ball in his hands, right? You don't want him to have 1 play because you saw what happens. 1 play, little off, you know, little pressure, off balance pass, it's incomplete, even though it was a great play. And you know, in overtime, if that happens, it's 2nd and 10. You have more shots at it. Now, part of Harbaugh's thought process was I'm sure like, look, with the injuries in the secondary, Roethlisberger's playing well. If we lose the coin flip, you know, it's a coin flip. If we lose the coin flip, Pittsburgh's going to win. If we win it, we're going to win. So instead of just waiting for the coin flip, let's just do it right now. I don't really like that as much here. I understand his gambling spirit a little bit there, but I kind of like, look, trust your defense. You still got Bowser. You still got Queen. You still got some good players. You still got good special teams. You know, the Pittsburgh Steelers aren't world beaters offensively by any means. So I kind of like going for 1 there. But the way their season's gone, I kind of understand why going for 2 because, you know, you are playing a little bit with house money at this point.
Yeah, and one thing I would like to say is that Patrick Queen has been playing incredibly better when he was moved to that will position, which I think he traditionally played in college. He wasn't doing so hot in the Mike position, but now that he's been transitioned to the will, He's played so much better. So I like his growth at that position. But like you said, I think you trust the defense because Pittsburgh wasn't really doing too much offensively in that game. Baltimore showed that they could score, and then in the clutch time, they could go down and score again at will. I think you hope that you get the ball because you just made another crazy drive and that you can score, and that you trust your defense. You're probably right. You trust your defense that's been playing good that whole game. But, a loss is a loss. I don't think this knocks Baltimore out of the playoffs. I'm not expecting a whole lot other than a Super Bowl from them this year. But if they don't make it, I do understand. It's kind of, this whole season's gravy to me. I didn't expect much at the beginning, and it's going much better than I expected. But now, next season, though, when the whole team's back, if they don't, steamroll the opposition, there's going to be hell to pay for me.
I got racks in my sack, hurt my back, yeah. They said, Saint Nick, but you got up in that bag, yeah. I got racks.